Sawasdee, good morning Bangkok. Welcome to Metro TV's English News Updates with me, Alisa Sitiwong. Today is December 18th, 2014. We'll begin off with the news, starting off with a recent incident in which a tour bus carrying the City Hall's employees overturned in Surat Thani province while traveling. However, most of the passengers were reported safe. A tour bus carrying 39 cleaning workers of Tawi Watana district under the administration of the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration overturned Monday evening while taking a detour in Surat Thani province. The bus was taking all passengers to observe a work in Krabi province, while it was the first bus in the caravan of 4 to have the accident. All of the passengers were transferred to local hospitals nearby to receive proper medical care. 30 out of 39 passengers were reported with slight injuries and were already released home. However, 9 passengers were reported with more serious injuries and needed to stay in the hospital. They were conscious but experienced headache and backaches. Meanwhile, police already took the driver into custody for further investigation into the cause of the accident. Turning to other news updates now, in which the Deputy Government spokesperson has said that the Prime Minister has urged relevant agencies to bring those who violate the laws to justice. On Tuesday, Deputy Government spokesperson Major General Sansern Kaew said in the press conference that in the cabinet meeting, the Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha instructed the Foreign Minister and the Justice Minister to discuss on how to bring those violating laws into justice. The Prime Minister said the Thai authority needs to find a way to explain to the international community in order to seek cooperation to bring those violating the laws back to the country. General Prayut also called for those with different opinions from the government and the NCPO to refrain from throwing negative comments to the opposite side so as to construct a healthy atmosphere for national reform. Commenting on the peace talks in the Deep South, General Prayut asked for the public to understand that the violence has been an accumulated problem and would take time to settle. He said the government is now ready to start the peace talks and is waiting for the negotiating party to join in. The Deputy Government spokesperson added that the Prime Minister also boosted the morale of the cabinet during the meeting by urging them to concentrate on their works and complete their task without being fear of any accusation of corruption. Continuing in other news updates, the National Legislative Assembly member has said that an amendment for the draft bill on sexual assaults on minors aims to scare off culprits of such crimes. The National Legislative Assembly, or NLA member Wanlop Tangkananurak, said that last week the NLA has passed an amendment to an important draft bill related to sexual issues. The draft bill will solve problems of an avoidance of penalties of those guilty for raping a minor after it is found that the accused will ask the victim to marry and abandon her afterwards, or give the victim's family money in many cases. By doing so, the culprit will walk free from all charges. Mr. Wanlop said the NLA saw a necessity for the amendment of the law that says any person over 18 years old who sexually assaults a minor at the age of 13 to 15 and who is not their husband or wife, with or without the consent of the minor, will face charges in the Children and Juvenile Court. If later the accused and the victim agree to marry, the court shall launch a background check on profiles and relationships of both sides. If the court grants the permission, the two sides shall report to the authorities in a given period, and the accused shall still face a penalty with a reduction of severity as said in the law based on the judgment of the court. Mr. Wanlop pointed out that after the draft bill amendment, the culprit will not dare to commit such crime, as there is no way to avoid the penalties for committing it. In other news updates from the cabinet as well, it has approved a law to allow the Special Branch Police to carry out a search without search warrants in order to enhance the effectiveness of its operations. Government spokesperson Major General Sansern Kaew-Kamnert said in the press conference on Tuesday that the cabinet approved a royal decree for division of power in the Royal Thai Police as it had proposed. General Sansern pointed out that the decree would grant the Special Branch Bureau the power to conduct a search to any suspected location without having to seek a search warrant from the court. He said this is to increase the power of the police's Special Branch Bureau to enforce the criminal procedure codes and related laws to improve their work performance. The deputy government spokesperson reasoned that it is necessary for the Special Branch Bureau to have such power as lacking of power under the criminal procedure codes as previously resulted in the delay of their operations. The Special Branch Bureau under the Royal Thai Police has a mission to investigate and seek intelligence on security issues. We continue with more news from the Cabinet and the National Council for Peace and Order, or NCPO, who has agreed to establish 2 additional strategic subcommittees for helping the government move reform policy forward. The session was aimed at summarizing the authority's previous works and future endeavors in accordance to the NCPO's roadmap. Prime Minister General Prayut Chan-o-cha revealed that both the Cabinet and the NCPO have laid down complementary plans between the 2 agencies to tackle various issues, such as wealth inequality and poverty, social bias, and the justice system, and enhancing the education system. General Prayut also indicated that governmental units would emphasize fairness, reduced bureaucracy, gradually phasing out the NCPO, and bridging the gap between disparate political groups. The Cabinet and the NCPO have erected 2 additional subcommittees. The first was established to ensure transparency and inspect works of independent organization, while the second would monitor the performance of the NCPO. Continuing in other news updates, now the Labour Ministry held a meeting in order to discuss the country's labour situation while approving a special working group to solve national labour problems that has been formed. Labour Minister General Surasak Kantanarat presided over the meeting to oversee the country's labour situation. The meeting discussed the follow-up of the general situation and consider possible restructuring of wages. Initially, the ministry would like to approve the new structure of wages by this year as another New Year gift from the government. Moreover, the meeting also discussed the issue of employees' strike to ask for bonuses last week while encouraging the employers and the employees to seek a constructive way of negotiating where the demand of the 2 sides meet without discharging leaders of employers. In the meeting, the Labour Minister also assigned Deputy Labour Minister Arak Promani as the spokesperson of the ministry to clarify the public about the real objectives of the ministry to initiate a program that encourage prisoners to be trained to work in the fishery boats. General Surasak pointed out that the program was designed to provide a job opportunity to the prisoners due to be released, and it is not a measure to solve labor shortage in the fishery industry. The Labour Minister also instructed a special working group to be set up to specifically solve the nation's labor problems. We'll now be taking a short break, and coming back next, we'll be taking a look at some more news updates.